What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be working on the Mach 1 Mustang, and we are going to be fixing the inner and outer tie rods, because if you guys saw my last video, I mentioned that we tried to get this car aligned with the new wheels and the drop springs, but they would not let me align them because the inner and outer tie rods were really bad. So we got those in, and now we're going to be able to go and get these things aligned. But of course, man, I've got a lot of cars here. Got my parents visiting, and so I need to move a lot of cars. I don't have a bowl of keys, but I have a handful of keys. Man, I feel almost kind of like one of those exotic car guys that have all these cars. I gotta move them all around and get them all around, but I'm gonna go ahead and move them all and get right to work, guys. Alright, so I already moved most of these cars, but if you guys don't really care about hearing a cold startup on a 2016 Denali or 2014 Toyota Camry, but I'm sure you guys would like to hear the startups on these vehicles here. So let's go ahead and get the startup on the Mach 1. Now we've got a cold startup on a 2019 Camaro SS. That is loud. That is very loud. Oh yeah. So we're gonna get the Camaro out, put the Mustang back in, put it on the lift, and show you guys how to change out the inner and outer tie rods on a 99 to 04, actually 96 to 04 Mustang. So, alright guys, we've got the car here. Got my dad helping me out like he did with the drop springs. And this is what we're gonna be changing out, guys. This long arm here that's in between that connects to the steering rack, that's the inner tie rod, and then this is the outer tie rod, and it's already apparently seen better days. They're loose, and because of these inner and outer tie rods, they would not align my car. So we went ahead and ordered the replacements, and these are from Moog. These are premium replacements. Definitely recommend getting these over any of the Chinese or off-brand ones. Moog, very well known, good quality. So you have the outer tie rod, and then you have the inner tie rod here. So we gotta remove this from the car, and I'll show you guys just how you have to do that. Alright guys, so the outer tie rod comes with a little kit here, and that kit includes a jam nut, a castle nut, your cotter pin, and then this little looks like valve, oil valve, which goes on this backside here. So you have to thread this in very carefully using probably like a quarter, small quarter drive, but that goes on this backside here, and that is so that you can basically reservice this. If you feel like it doesn't have enough grease or something, you can always pump more grease in. So you have to actually install this. It doesn't come installed, so you're going to install this in the backside here, very carefully, making sure that it doesn't cross thread. And then of course we'll get to show you how you use these on the car. This outer one only comes with a locking pin, a small little locking pin that you can see right there, and this jam nut, and the locking pin is going to go right here on one of these ends, but we'll show you guys all about how to get that installed. Alright guys, so first step here is we have to loosen up this jam nut here, and it's a 21 millimeter. You can either use a crescent wrench, or if you have an open-ended 21 millimeter wrench, you can do that. But we're going to loosen that up, and then you can remove this cotter pin using some pliers to straighten it out and pull it out. Loosen this jam nut, but do not remove it completely. And then we'll go ahead and tap with a hammer on the spindle to loosen this outer tie rod and have it kind of drop down and hang. Alright guys, so we are kind of somewhat moving along here. We've loosened up this jam nut. As you guys can see, there's a gap there now. One thing that we did was loosen this up, and once you loosen up, this whole thing starts spinning. So you can use something like some vice grips clamps and hold this side so you can loosen up a little bit more if you want. Then we removed the cotter pin, loosened up the castle nut here, and then these, with 145,000 miles or so, were very stuck on. So we used the hammer. It took a little while, but hammering it, eventually you can see that it's dropped, and it's just being held on by the castle nut. But that is loose now. So this is pretty much ready to get completely removed, but now we want to remove the inner one down here. And to do that, we've got two clips. We got a clip on the outside, and then there's another clip here on the inner boot that we need to grab and try to pull to slide off this dust boot and get to the nut section in the back that we need to loosen up this inner tie rod. So far, not too difficult. Just an FYI, they wanted to charge me $350 for parts and labor with the alignment for this. The alignment was about $55, so inner and outer tie rods for this, they were basically wanting to charge $300 to do. I was able to buy the replacement parts, inner and outer tie rods, for $65 on Amazon, and it's probably going to take about maybe an hour to 2 hours of work. So, I mean, definitely really recommend, if you can and have some of the tools, to do it yourself, because you save yourself a lot of money. Alright guys, so we've gone ahead and removed it, and I've already kind of been loosening it up here, but one thing I did was use the measuring tape before while it was on the car and measured from the last thread here to the edge of the outer tie rod, and that measured about 2.5 inches. So that's what we're going to put to kind of give us a good rough estimate. This car is not going to be going anywhere but straight to the alignment shop after we install this. So what you have to do is, you can try to remove this dust boot while it's on there, but it's actually it's got a little ridge or lip, so it's a little more difficult. These is the original ones and came with this clamp here that's kind of like a one-time use kind of clamp. So we're going to try to reuse it by clamping it down, but if not, then we can always go buy a clamp at O'Reilly's or your local auto parts store. As you see, here is also a little vent here, and that is for this little tube. So you need to slide this tube out, and you can see in here how you've got a lot of grease and stuff in there. I don't know if we need to put more grease or not, but that is what the steering rack looks like. And there was a bit of oil, I think, from where this as you can see, this was really loose. And when we take this disc boot off, we'll show you guys what the difference between a new one and an old one is. This outer tie rod doesn't look too bad, honestly. It's actually still very sturdy. It's not loose, but these inner ones were definitely bad. So let's go ahead and disarm this and show you guys the comparison between the new and the old parts. Okay guys, so here it is. Here we've got the two. This is the factory one, as you guys can see here, and it's pretty much down to the same spec. It is a little different, as you guys can see. This one, the factory one, has this like ball joint, so this thing can just move freely, and you see how the grease was kind of already leaking through the outside of it. And then this one is a solid piece, it does not move. And then now here with the outer tie rod, you've got the old factory one, which, like I said, still looked fairly decent, but it is now being replaced by the new Moog factory one, which actually is a lot stiffer, a lot harder. As you guys can see, trying trying to move this around does not happen, but this one you can basically just manhandle it however you want. So that is why you need to get these replaced. This new one's a lot sturdier, definitely held on and locked in place. Alright guys, so check it out. We slid the boot in, didn't lock it in place to give us some more space to lock it. We slid in the clip for the outer boot, threw in the jam nut, and then we measured using the same tape 2.5 inches from the last thread to the outside of the jam nut, and then screwed this in. So this is about where the factory was, and it obviously might not be exact, but of course it is very, very close, so that we can drive it at least. Now we've tightened this up a little bit, not as just so it won't move. Now we can slide the boot back out of the way so we can screw this into the end over there, and we're gonna tighten that up. And when we're done, it comes with this little like locking pin, which you're gonna slide into one of these holes. There's a couple of them here, and then you're just gonna tap it in, and that'll basically ensure that it kind of gets locks in place and that you don't have this kind of come in loose or anything. So we're gonna go ahead and screw this back on into the steering shaft. We'll put the locking pin in, slide the boot over, try to see if we can get this thing to clamp. If not, I'll have to go buy a new one of those, and then put the clamp in, go back here, basically do the reverse, slide it back into the knuckle here, put the castle nut in, tighten that, put the new cotter pin, and we are done, guys. Guys, we are done, and it actually was very simple. Again, do not, I stress enough, if you can have some little bit of tools and jack stands or something, you can definitely do this yourself on your Mustang. Very, very easy. We've got both the left side and the passenger side. The passenger side I've already put the wheel on, but all new components in the steering. And that's it, guys. It's very, very simple. Now, once you do the inner or outer tie rods, or if you just do one or the other, you do want to take this directly to your alignment shop, because they are going to need to line it right. If you don't, your wheel could be slightly out or slightly inward and cause a lot of wear. So definitely want to take this directly to the alignment shop, and they should be able to get it done. Now, like I said, they weren't able to align it the first time because of this, so now I can take it back and tell them I've replaced everything, it's all brand new, go ahead and do the alignment, and we should be good to go, guys. So alrighty, guys, we are back from the alignment and everything is good to go. We are perfect. The wheels have been corrected on both ends, and we've got the steering and everything corrected as well. Car drives super smooth, super perfect. I'm very happy. I am glad the car is ready. I can now drive it pretty much wherever I want, and it is not going to wear my tires unevenly or anything like that, and it's going to run really great. Car is running perfectly. That's about it for this car, guys. I mean, there's really not much else we can do to it. Do need to get the stripe kit put back on. That is on the works. I need to get that taken care of, but other than that, everything else on this car is perfect and just the way I like it. I am super happy, very excited about being able to own my own first dream car and have it looking just like I want it. It's been almost 3 weeks now since I got it, and we've gone through a whole set of changes, and I'm just excited for it to be back running great. Suspension wise, everything is good to go, and now I just get to enjoy it. Got beautiful days here in Houston, and we get to enjoy these wheels, this car, the looks. I mean, when I was out at the alignment shop and saw the car driving while they were doing the test drive up and down the street, man, this thing sounds beautiful. I'm definitely going to need to do some drive-bys and show you guys just how this car sounds when you're accelerating. Super beautiful, super nice. Keep an eye out for some videos. We are going to do some testing on this using the draggy, just to kind of see how slow it is, really. But we'll do some 30 to 100 mile an hour times. Can't really do any 0 to 60 or anything like that, because the car has a bad differential clutches for the limited slip, so it really only spins one whole tire down the thing in first gear, spins all the first gear and all the second because it can't grab with both tires. So we're not going to do that, but we will do some 30 to 100s, 40 to 120s. The car surprisingly picks up really well, and you guys will get to see just maybe how bad or how good of a manual shift driver I am. I mean, I'm not the greatest. I haven't had practice in a long time, but as long as I can get the car to shift into gear, I think we'll be okay, and it won't hurt too much of our times. But that's it, guys. We're good to go. We've got the Camaro, which we've, like I mentioned in the last video, have the throttle bodies to install and review and show you guys that in the next video. So keep an eye out for that video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.